Okay, so when graphing the function y equals sine x, you get a graph that looks much like this dotted line, where it looks much like a wave. So for this function, the graph starts at 0, 0, and then it goes up and goes down. There's a couple terminologies that you have to know for this graph. The first one is the amplitude. And the amplitude is the max and min height that the graph reaches. So this graph has an amplitude of 1. The second thing you have to know is the period. The period is the distance on the x value that it takes for the graph to go up and down and return to its original position. So on this graph, the period would be 2 pi. Okay, so to alter this this graph, there are certain things that you can do, and this works for any trig function. So to change the amplitude of the trig function, what you would do is change the number that comes before the function. So that is such as 2 sine x instead of 1 sine x, and what that would do is simply just make this amplitude bigger. And you can look at this on your calculator. So if you plug in sine pi times 2 times 2, then you will find that that reaches a higher point. Okay, so the second thing you can do is change the period. The period has a formula of 2 pi over b. And b is the coefficient of x in the trig function. So right now, x has a coefficient of 1, so b would be 2 pi. But if you changed b to 2, so if b equals 2, so where sine equals sine 2x, then the graph would look something like this, where now the period, because 2 pi over 2 is equal to 2 pi, the period would now be pi. You see that? Okay. And then another thing you can change is shifting the graph. So shifting the graph is much like shifting a quadratic graph. So if you want to shift it up or down, you're going to want to shift add or subtract numbers outside the sign. This will shift the graph up or down. And if you want to shift it left or right, to shift it left, you have to add in the sine function, and to shift it left, you have to subtract in the sine function. So this is a sine graph. If you wanted to make a cosine graph, the graph actually starts at 1 and then goes, so that's the amplitude, and then it goes down goes down and looks like something like this. So it's similar